Hi, I'm back again. I don't know why I smile every time I do that. So this video I thought would be a little different. I thought maybe, it's a Friday night. I got my drink here and I don't have anything to unbox or open, but I thought maybe I'd tell a story. Kind of an embarrassing, cringy story. I don't know what to call this video yet. Maybe like, just, I don't want to call it story time. Everybody uses that. How about, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's nothing unique. Just probably like cringe stories or I don't know. We'll find out. But oh, first to follow up, Metroid Dread. Go buy it. It's good. I finished it yesterday. It's amazing. So the story, um, I'll probably call it the fist bump because it's pretty appropriate for the name. Back when we lived in our old town, before we moved here, we used to walk to the school to take the kids to school all the time. When they first started, we walked a lot. They didn't have a bus, but even after they got the bus on the way home, if there was any after school things that were happening, we would usually just walk home. Because we lived in town, we don't really own a car. I don't own a car now. I don't need it. I can just walk everywhere I go. I prefer that. It's exercise. Um. Anyway, I one day my son and I were at the school. I forget what we were doing or why we were even there. I think the only thing I remember is just the thing that happened to me that day. Um, so it's over, everything's done. Him and I are walking home, and this guy, okay, this isn't the first time I've seen this guy. Super nice family, super nice people. Um, do anything to help you. I didn't know them very well, but they wanted to help, so they pull over and they're like, "Hey, you guys want to ride home?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." I mean, if they're gonna take the time out of their day to try to ask, I hate this gray here. If they're gonna take the time out of their day to try to help us, even though I didn't really need the help because I liked walking home. But my son was tired, and I was like, "Okay, we'll go." So we load in, and on the drive home, the guy's talking to my son, like trying to bond with him or something. And he's talking, asking him questions, like, "Oh, what do you like to do? What do you this and that?" And just normal stuff, getting to know somebody. Because it wasn't the first time we've seen him, and we have taken a ride with them, I think, once before or once after this time. I don't remember. But on the ride home, he's getting to know my son, and they're talking, and you know, it goes how you would pretty much expect a stranger talking to your kid to go. It's a little awkward, but he's like, "All right, yeah, cool." So he asked me a couple questions. We're talking. It's not a long drive, but him and I talk a little bit, learn a little bit about each other, and that's about it. Nothing major. So I tell him, "Oh, turn here. I live right there in that apartment building." And so we pull in, and as we're pulling in, he stops, and he kind of leans back, like his head like this a little bit, and he's like, "Hey, you know, it was really cool to meet you." And no, he said something like, "Hey, buddy, it was really nice to meet you." And he's like, "Have a good day." And he reaches back and goes, "Fist bump." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, you too." And I just, like a fucking champion, just fist bump that motherfucker's hand. Like, I'm just, oh man, I just got him good. And I'm like, "Yeah." Now, I think fist bumping is kind of stupid, okay? But I didn't know if he thought it was stupid. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, man. Like, you gave me a ride. I'll fist bump you." Turns out, when I fist bumped him and our eyes made contact, he looks at me and says, "Oh, yeah, cool, man. I was actually talking about your son there." But yeah, I'll take a fist bump too. And it was that moment where, like, the color just drains down. And you're like, oh my god, I wish I had a shovel so I could hit myself over the head with it so I could not be alive in this embarrassing ass moment. So I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry about that, man. And I get out of the car, I walk around, and I can see the guy in the car laughing and smiling. And I'm just like, come on, we gotta get inside. And I get him out, and I come up inside the apartment. And I tell my wife at the time what happened, and she's laughing, and I'm laughing. Oh my god! And what I kind of redeemed it a little bit, but not really, because the second time he gave us a ride, when I got into the car, I instantly like see I never saw him again since then. So all I had was that weird fist bump that wasn't meant for me, and I'm just like yeah, and that was the last. That's all that guy knew of me. Is the dude that fist bumped his ass when he was trying to get his son to fist bump him, and so the next time I see him, he offers us a ride again, and he's probably thinking, "Oh man, here comes old fist bump." But I didn't, and I addressed it. I got in the car and I'm like, "Hey man, don't worry, I'm not gonna awkwardly fist bump you today." And man, he busted out laughing. It was a good time, but that might like I don't know if I can convey in the story how embarrassing that was. But put yourself in that place. You're riding home in the car with somebody you don't know. They're talking to your son, and you're kind of paying attention. You're talking, and then turn around. You're like, "All right, nice to meet you, buddy." Fist bump. What do you do? Do you not and assume that? Like I didn't assume he was talking to my son. I thought he wanted to fist bump me, the almost 40-year-old man in the back seat. Me. So I'm just like, bam, fist bump. And yeah, that's even to talk about the story, I want to die. Like I'm glad I don't live in that town anymore. I don't have to be seen by that poor guy that I fist bumped in his own vehicle. Just if you ever are in a position where somebody asks for a fist bump, make sure you're the one that they're asking for. Because if you do it, and you unsolicitedly fist bump another gentleman or lady, it is the most humiliating thing you will ever experience in your entire life, and I promise you that. But yeah, that's my story. And you know, this might be a fun thing to do. I don't know if I have any other embarrassing stories to talk about or not, but if I can think of any that I've done that are that bad or worse, I might tell some stories on here. It's kind of fun. I don't know. I thought it was worth telling. I thought somebody might like to enjoy my moment of wanting to die over and over. But yeah, so I hope everyone's doing well. And if you are the one person that watches my videos, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening or morning or whenever you're watching this. And cheers.